team 4 out of 7. That seems at least a mini long shot. When you look at the Western Conference, it is completely wide open right now. How would you make the pecking order right now as far as not what the seeds will be, but what they ought to be?
Well, first, let me say this. I agree with you on Tampa, but I think in hockey, more so than maybe professional basketball, when you talk about the postseason, it is just get in.
Yeah.
Just be one of the 8, because at any time, a goalie can stand on his head. You can get a hot team. We saw it a couple of years ago when Nashville beat the best team in the Western Conference, Chicago, in 4 straight, and they were a wild card team. So just get in. For me right now, I think Winnipeg has the most balance and is the best team in the Western Conference. I still think there's some question marks in goal with both Calgary and San Jose. Although Jones has been a great playoff goalie for San Jose, not as great during the regular season. And then I think Fleury's right there. So for me right now, I think Winnipeg is number 1. Vegas is number 2. And then I think you can slot Calgary, San Jose, and Nashville right behind them. But maybe the hottest team in the Western Conference right now is St. Louis. They didn't do a lot, but they are a team that's on fire right now. Gone 8-1-1 over their last 10 games, have moved up into that first wild card spot, and they are playing with a lot of confidence right now with a very young goalie in Bennington.
Chuck, I'm actually looking at your app right now with the Western Conference future prices. The Knights are currently the favorite at your end at plus 250. I didn't see what it was yesterday. Did you guys move that after the trade at all?
We did. It was just a slight adjustment. We get significant action on the Knights anyway, being, a locals property, and this is our local team, a tremendous amount of backing on them. We made moves throughout the board, guys. We lowered some teams. We raised a bunch of teams as well right now based on what occurred at the deadline, but we did adjust the odds on the Knights.
Next to the Knights, who did you make the biggest move on?
Columbus had a big move. We also had somewhat of a move on both Winnipeg and Nashville and Boston as well. I think you look at how dominant Tampa is, but I don't think you can sit on Boston. I think Boston's a very good team. You look at how well Tampa's played over the last 10 games, going 8-0-2. Guess who's also gone that good over the last 10 games? And that's Boston. Boston is a really good team, both home and away. They've got a good plus-minus ratio. Toronto does not match up well against them. You could easily see Boston and Tampa playing maybe for the Eastern Conference Final. But I think Boston's one of those dangerous teams too. But Columbus had a big drop because it's obvious they pushed all their chips in the middle of the table. A team that's never won a playoff series is all in this year. And they've got some big, I think their 4 or 5 best players are all going to be UFAs when the season's over. So they're all in. They weren't a playoff team when they traded for Matt Duchene. They are now with winning 2 games in a row. They've gone 7-3 over their last 10. They're ahead of Carolina and Pittsburgh. Right now, they're definitely all in, and they're not that far behind Washington, and they've got 2 games in hand for the second spot in the Metropolitan.
Yeah, and I would agree, by the way, in the Bruins, who didn't hit any home runs today at the deadline, but they made a couple of deals, one bringing in Coyle, the other bringing in Johansson. These are guys who can help them on their second and third lines, and that's what they need. Their first line is arguably the best line in the league. The Bergeron line is absolutely sensational, especially once Pasternak comes back from his hand injury. I think the Bruins are the one team that can knock off Tampa. Columbus, I know it's good effort. What the hell, why not? But I've never really been big on these teams that are going to lose everybody at the end of the season. I just kind of think that the focus can go away in a hurry with teams like that. Any adversity, and these guys can start thinking more about where they're going to be than where they actually are now. I really don't think they'll be a threat come playoff time.
I don't know. You look at Duchene, who's never scored a playoff goal in his career, has never had a deep run. I think they went out and got him, similar to what Vegas did with Stone. I think it's a foregone conclusion that Bobrovsky and Panarin are gone from Columbus. I think Duchene's the guy that they're going to try to sign and make the cornerstone of that franchise moving forward. So we'll see. But I think really quickly, though, on Boston, too, I think only the Islanders have given up less goals. So if you want a playoff goalie who can stand on his head and maybe win a series against Tampa, it would be Tuukka Rask. I think that's what makes Boston so much more dangerous is that first line and then the back end and the goaltending of Rask. So I like Boston a lot in the Eastern Conference is maybe that quasi-sleeper after Tampa.
Yeah, and we never did mention the Islanders, who have Barry Trotz, and they might be a tough out.
They're a really good team, but they're kind of what Vegas was last year.
Yeah.
Vegas, a couple of years ahead of schedule, or probably 5 years ahead. I think the Islanders are that year or two away. They've got a loaded young system. They're very good, but they don't get a lot of ink. But I think they're a couple of years ahead of schedule, and they didn't want to get rid of some of those young assets because I think they're going to be a good team for a number of years.
Chuck, shifting gears, pitchers and catchers have reported. We've got exhibition games, but we still don't have Bryce Harper signed. And how much of a problem is that presenting to you guys with the futures market and season wins? Because obviously wherever he lands, that's going to adjust the number. How are you handling it?
Well, I mean, there's been so many rumblings out there, guys. At this point, they are up and on the board, all the teams. We've been a little bit proactive. I mean, we've actually taken a few teams, and you have to adjust them anticipating. I think bettors do the same thing. We've seen that in all sports on future books when you see rumblings of trades or signings. They're going to be or injuries. They're going to be proactive, thinking either the best or the worst possible outcome. So we've done that. It looked more and more like he was going to be a Philly. Maybe over the weekend, you hear the Dodgers in now and the Giants for more short-term deals. So it's kind of a wait and see for us as well. The Phillies, we didn't have a dramatic adjustment, even when it looked like he was going to go there. But we'll have to wait and see like everybody else. But we're in an information era, so we'll probably be getting it around the same time as the guests on the other side of the counter do, guys.
I would think it's going to happen in the next 2 days, and it is interesting to note that, it sounds like the Phillies are not making him any better off than Machado got from the Padres, and that there might be some reluctance to sign that deal. And there are some thoughts, and I heard Ken Rosenthal talking about this morning, that while he won't get 10 years from the Dodgers, they might offer him 4 years at $40 million per year, which would make him the highest paid annual salary ever. I got to tell you something. He might go for that.
He might. I think all along from the time that he became a free agent and he turned down that big deal with the Nationals, I think everybody felt that he was going to end up in L.A., that, being a Vegas guy and wanting to play on the West Coast, it just seemed like a natural fit, taking nothing away from a young Phillies team who plays in a very competitive National League East. I think you look at that Dodger team, and they're very good. They're loaded. They can win without him. You add him to the mix, and if Kershaw is healthy, they are one of the overall favorites to win it. He's in the West Coast, so I don't think that's out of the realm either. For me right now, maybe it's Boris, some of his posturing and saying that, maybe hoping that Philly will sweeten the pot. But I think they're about even money right now, the Dodgers, to be that team that ultimately signs Harper.
Yeah, in fact, I think they're really close between the Dodgers and Phillies, depending on what Harper wants to do in terms of length. And I'm not throwing the Giants out of the mix because the Giants, we've seen this before, the Giants, where they kind of wait in the weeds and then come in at the last minute and beat everybody else. So I think it could still be a 3-team race.
My only question about the Giants is that even with Harper, I mean, you look at San Diego and Machado, I think you look at the young kids that are coming up with San Diego and the farm system that they have, I think there's a clear light at the end of the tunnel. I think maybe the same thing with the White Sox had one of the two players gone there. But in San Francisco's case, you're in a division now with the Rockies and Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. I just don't know if Harper wants to win and he wants to win now. I think the Dodgers are the team he goes to. That's just my guys.
And obviously, you're going to adjust the odds on the Dodgers and season win totals. But then on the same token, if he does go to the Dodgers, some of those wins that you just put on the Padres, do you take some of them back out of the mix because it makes the Dodgers that much stronger? Because it's a trickle effect. You're going to have this second and third place team. If Harper goes to the Dodgers, they're going to lose some wins down the line.
Well, I think the biggest question mark with the Dodgers right now and seeing what we adjust them to is the health of Clayton Kershaw. I think for a pitcher who is, arguably one of the top 5 pitchers in the league right now, who's had a durability and an injury problem, to have had to have taken kind of a backseat and stop throwing, although he started to play catch again, that's a bigger question mark to me right now with the Dodgers than anything else when it comes to win totals or their future book. If they're going to make it a deep run and be playing in the postseason, Clayton Kershaw better be there for the bulk of the season.
We didn't talk much college basketball today, but that doesn't mean we're not going to down the road. The NCAA tournament is just around the corner. And once that gets going, as part of March Madness, one of the great contests in town is at Station Casinos. It's called Last Man Standing.
We've actually got two great things going on. We've got our tip-off to the tournament seminar, guys, and that's Tuesday, March 19th at 6 o'clock in Club Madrid. We've got some great handicappers coming out that night. Hopefully you guys will come out and join us as well. It's free. It's open to the public. We'll also be giving away a couple entries, free entries, for guests that are in attendance that night, can qualify, get a drawing slip, and maybe be one of the lucky winners into Last Man Standing. I think it's the ultimate college basketball handicapping event for the tournament. $25 entry fee, 4 entries. The fifth one's free, and we guarantee $50,000. So if you love the Last Man Standing format and loved it during pro football and college football, this is the college basketball contest to get into, guys.
And, of course, with the Golden Knights picking up Mark Stone, that's going to refuel the optimism locally, and that means the next viewing party at Sunset Station at Club Madrid for the Golden Knights is really going to be something.
Next viewing party is Sunday night, March 10th. It's a 6:30 game, and they happen to be against the Calgary Flames.
Ooh, big game.
A team right now that has the best record in the Western Conference, a team that they're chasing right now, who didn't do a lot at the deadline. So it's a huge game. I think for the postseason push, it'll be interesting to see how they play against Calgary in Calgary that night. That as well is free and open to the public. Come on out and have some fun. Doors open around 5:30. Puck drops at 6:30, and that's on Sunday, March 10th, guys.
Yeah, and there's some pretty good prizes that can be won as well.
Every viewing party, we're giving away an official on-ice Vegas Golden Knight jersey, some fully Vegas Golden Knight bottles of wine, some other cool VGK swag. So if you haven't come out, come on out, and maybe you win a great prize, and maybe you get one of those jerseys, which is pretty cool, guys.
Just several more reasons why locals love Station Casinos and Sunset Station, no question about it. Always a pleasure, Chuck. Great information.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Chuck Esposito from Sunset Station. That's gonna be a fun time down there. The viewing parties down there are terrific anyway. But this next one, getting close to the playoffs. The Flames are going to be one of those teams that are one of the target teams for the Golden Knights, and I think the confidence level of the local fan base is going to go way back up with Mark Stone.
And this is a great measuring stick for the Knights to see how they do against one of the elite teams in the West.
No question about that. It is, if you watch MLB Network, they're in the midst of their 30 teams in 30 days segments, which are really good. And they can spend a whole hour on them, and they get player interviews and stuff like that. We do it a little bit differently here because we're not on every day. Mm-hmm. We sometimes have guests in the 2:30 spot and we're talking about something else. But we're going to cover all 30 teams over the next 30 days before the season starts. And we're going to start our previews with team number 1 today. We're going to just take them by league in alphabetical order, no preference. But we'll try and get some opinions out of these teams. The Arizona Diamondbacks are first up, just around the corner.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
When it comes to dependability in car batteries, no one beats Interstate Batteries. Interstate Batteries has been providing outrageously dependable starting power for over 65 years. With over 200,000 dealers nationwide, there's one near you. Just click on interstatebatteries.com.
Time to start planning for the 2019 swim season. Call B&D Pool Plastering and remodel your tired-looking pool. With B&D's 2019 swim season pricing, beat the rush. For a free estimate, call B&D Pool Plastering, 702-644-8980.
If you need to sell your house,
talk to Aaron Taylor.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy.
As a buyer or seller, we know you don't do this every day. We are going to educate you along the entire process. And as a client, you want your real estate agent to be knowledgeable, professional, and expert negotiator, get you top dollar, and have great communication skills. Hi, I'm Aaron Taylor, your real estate guy. 24 years of experience, over 5,000 homes sold. Go to therealestateguyLV.com and check out our amazing reviews. So if you want top dollar for your home, have a distressed property and need cash in 5 days, need cash advance before the close of escrow, probate sales, property management, and all your other real estate needs, call the Real Estate Guy. 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE. 702-310-6683. Powered by eXp Realty. Call for details.
Talk